wow, like wow, all of this was just so exciting. In today's video, we're going to talk about part 5 of Rhythm of War. This is going to be a spoilery review and mainly reactions, so let's dive together. Starting with Kaladin, he has been awoken, same as Teft, by Lift, and so together they come up with a plan to save the Radiants as they seem to be in danger and they're gonna get killed. For that, they create this twofold plan in which, in one hand, Kaladin is gonna face the Pursuer because he's there, and in the other hand, Teft is gonna go to the infirmary with Lift and awake all of the Radiants. Kaladin, in his part of the plan, starts to get all dressed up with the uniform of Bridge 4, same as Syl, who is now in dark blue colin, which is so cute. And they together face their destiny. They go straight to the Pursuer and they kind of change their mind. They know that they are maybe going to their death, and Kaladin decides to just fake for the last time that he can do it, that he is the one that he will kill the Pursuer. They fight time and time again until the Pursuer hides away in his last form, and Kaladin kind of wins that part of the war. Meanwhile, we get to Teft. He reaches the infirmary to find Moash. He is gonna kill the Radiant, and so they start fighting. Moash hurts Lift and renders her unconscious. So Teft faces this fight knowing that he is gonna get killed, and anyway he just fights and fights Moash, who seems to be just silence, just all calm, the person that doesn't really care about anything. And so we see how Moash kills Teft's friend. The first friend that we know is killed from one of our friends, and we see how Teft just cries in anger, and then how Moash also stabs and kills Teft, who dies kind of peacefully, knowing that he was loved and that he made good to the world, and that's something that Moash will never have. Both the scenes merge as we see how Moash drops Teft's corpse into the ground and how Kaladin approaches the body and starts to take care of him, how he crumbles again. He starts to think, oh no, no one is safe with me. I'm able to save anyone, and how he just is letting himself go. Moash, meanwhile, takes the Pursuer away and says like, hey, you're already defeated. You know, your legend is not anymore a legend. So you need to stay away from Kaladin and instead take away his father. And if you see him standing his ground again, what you're going to do is to kill Kal's father in front of him. Like, why? Why are you so mean? Anyway, Pursuer's ego, it's not good on strategy. And so he goes again and faces Kal, who just once and for all killed him by ripping his head into the ground in just one glorious death in which everyone around them is kind of silent. Meanwhile, Navani, who is the absolute hero of this book, has discovered that Moash is set to kill her, and so she starts creating a trap for Ravaniel in which they can talk together about some things, and then blast! Ravaniel is tricked and she is stabbed by Navani. All of this for me was a little bit like Ravaniel is 1,000 years old. She has been super savvy in everything, and now she's like too tired to think that that might be a trap. I mean, I get it, but Either way, Ravaniel is almost dead when Moash approaches Navani, who is super defenseless at this point, and we see how Ravaniel rises and starts to fight Moash to give Navani some time. She tells Navani, you need to run away. I really don't care who wins the war at this point. We just need to end it. So you need to get away. You need to take all these discoveries and you need to save yourself. Moash nonetheless stabs Navani, which renders her very, very, very weak. And so she tries to hide, but she knows that she cannot get away. She's like hurt. And so she starts asking for help to the sibling. She says, please, let's bond together. I can help you. You can help me. Let's do this. And then the sibling says, no, we cannot do that. Navani asks why, and the sibling says, because you are not worthy. Like, what? However, Navani is like, no man, I am worthy. I've discovered this, and that. And she starts humming Honor's song and allows him, the sibling, to hum to Cultivation, being that their song. And that is kind of like the entry of accepting her, creating Navani as a bondsmith, which allows her to have all this stormlight, this strength to stab Moash and make him blind. We then go back to Cal, who has just killed the pursuer, and sees how a listener is taking his father to the top of the tower and is dropping him into the storm. Kaladin, without thinking it twice, he just jumps into the storm, which allows for Stormfather to call Dalinar and says like, hey, Kaladin is actually jumping into the storm and he is gonna die. And so Dalinar, Stormfather, knowing that Kaladin is falling, decides to give him a chance and renders him into vision. This vision is Kaladin with Tian, his brother, and sees how he believes that Kaladin is enough. He says, you are enough, you are brave, you can do this. And so Cal comes back from this vision with energy renown, but he is not able to see where Syl is, so he starts calling Syl, and Syl says, Kaladin, I'm here, but I cannot see you, and I don't know the words, I cannot do this. And like, how precious is that? But Kaladin is like, you don't need to know that because I know the words. And so in that moment, he says the fourth ideal, and 1,000 windsprint cover Kaladin, and he is able to save his father. I'm imagining all this so much as a Spider-Man, but potentially not. After that, he comes back to the tower and he sees how both the faction of listeners and humans are working together against other listeners, creating the real rhythm of war. Humans and Prashundi working together against the greatest evil, the Black Prashundi. They end up banishing these bad listeners, Prashundi, from the tower, and they reconquer Uithiro. Changing gears though to Shallan and Adolin, we see how they seem to have made peace. All things are cleared up now, and Adolin already knows what's happening with Shallan, which I'm a little bit pissed. Why we never get to see the important things within Shallan and Adolin, nor their wedding, nor this. And I thought that that was going to be super important from, like, it's something that Shallan has been trying to not do for a long time. And she has done that in the shadows. Not in the shadows, but in our shadows. We don't know. Outrageous. Either way, everything is good. And Shallan contacts Moraes through this cube and basically tells him, man, I'm out from the Gosploads. This sucks. I'm out. And Moraes is like, okay, that's cool. But now you are our enemy. So it's like, no, like, leave Shallan alone. Meanwhile, Dalinar has had two very interesting encounters. The first one with Ishar, this herald bondsmith from which he expects to learn how to use his powers for the greater good. But no, Ishar is gone mad and they actually start fighting in a scene in which Ishar almost takes away the bond between Dalinar and Stormfather, which is horrible. But not just that, they also see, once that Ishar is gone, that he has been investigating and how to bring the Spren into human bodies or into the human realm. It's confusing and it's weird, but Dalinar is still with hope that Ishar's mind can come back and that something weird has been done to him, and so he expects to take him back. The second encounter is with Odium, which is at this point a little bit of a weakling, let me tell you that, and they close this arrangement to fight in 10 days. 10 days, like, that's now. We then move to Venli, who has been a little bit low-key throughout all this book, but she has finally come clean with her being a Odium, and she's actually very well acclaimed within her clan. And so they together move to the Shadow Plains, and they find the rest of their clan, the ones that they thought they were dead, but they are some survivors, and they're sweet. That's sweet. She finds her mom and she actually sings to her, which is great, but it's not as amazing as the final moments of Eshonai, which we get through a flashback, and we see how Stonefather was really compassionate to her, and she is able to see all of the worlds while dying. She is an explorer and she has this chance. That was phenomenal. And finally, we get to Taravangian, who has been the whole book trying to plan how to kill Odium and saying that he is not gonna give up. And he actually does. He actually kills him, but only to turn himself into Odium and rise as a god. Why? You spend the whole book trying to kill him, and then you're doing this? Why? And not only that, because he also seemed very, very, very smart. Smart enough that he is able to add wit and erase his memories. Like, what? I get it that now we're gonna have like a better antagonist for book 5, because yeah, Odium was kind of like meh lately. And Taravangian and Dalinar has this relationship, and Taravangian, we know him, but why are you doing this? And this is all for part 5. If you liked it, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you soon with all new videos. Bye!